Dear students, nowadays we are talking about the play Silver Box composed by John Galsworthy. We have already taken so many aspects of this play in our consideration. We have come to the theme and summary and introduction of the play into our account. But because we are talking about the play, so I think that it is proper to light on the act and scene-wise analysis as well. It is already known to us that it is a comedy which is criticizing the legal system where the equal opportunity is not allowed to the poor character. And we also find that there are some loopholes in the legal system which allow the rich person to escape from the punishment. I am Dr. Naveen Kumar Jha, Associate Professor in English, RAGS College, Ahilyasthan. Here it is the Act 1 in Scene 1 that we are going to focus on. In the first act, there are 3 scenes. The place of the scene is London dining room of John Barthwick. Now we know that Barthwick is Liberal Member of Parliament and a prosperous character of London. He is influential enough to influence the legal system as well. Jack Barthwick is the son of Barthwick family. He comes home at night drunken with a lady's reticule handbag stolen. So this is where the background of the play has been made. We already know that stealing of the handbag of a lady is the major incident of this play. And later on, the development is all around this handbag of the lady. And the theme of the play has been the stealth of this handbag, which is lost into the court of justice, where impartial judgment is passed by the magistrate. Actually, we cannot call it an impartial judgment. Judgment is okay from the legal point of view. But the major issue is that the poor person for the same crime is punished, while the rich person escapes the punishment. Now we move further, we find that in the next scene, Jones, the servant of the family, helps Jack to unlock the door. Jones is given a drink by Jack. Jack falls asleep on the sofa. Jones takes a purse that has fallen from the reticule and a silver box, a cigarette box, and leaves. So in the previous scene, we find that the handbag is stolen by Jack, and here in the next scene we find the same handbag is stolen by Jones. First it is stolen by the son of a rich family, influential family. Then it is stolen by the poor family. Now we find that the same incident is taking place or associated first with the rich person and second with the poor person. Now we are moving to Act 1, Scene 2. Here we find that there is an introduction of Mrs. Jones, who is talking to Wheeler, the housemaid, and to Marlowe, the butler. We already know that Mrs. Jones belongs to the poor family. Her husband is jobless, so naturally she is worried. Almost all poor people are worried of joblessness and insecurity of livelihood. So she is talking about the husband, that he is out of work. This is here joblessness, worklessness, which makes Jones violent when he is drunken. We can say that poverty itself is bringing out violence or violent attitude in the mind of the poor person. We can make the lesson to the poor person that he should control himself even during poverty. Or there are so many stories by Leo Tolstoy, which is women around poverty, and the storyteller there tries to say that in poverty we try to control our vices. Rather, it is just in the wealthy state that people are just deviated from their normal behavior standard. But that is another kind of philosophy that you find in Leo Tolstoy's story. Here, the point is that naturally when a person is jobless, workless, and is in poverty, he is going to be bitter in his remarks, and his attitude to life becomes violent. And especially when jobless person is drunken, he becomes violent, and he assaults other family members, especially wife or lady members of the family. Everything happens. It is all realistic depiction of the situation of life when someone is in poverty. So Marlowe notices that a cigarette box is missing. Now, so far, the stealing of cigarette box has been shown first by Jack, second by Jones, but now this time it is known by Marlowe, and this is to be reported to police in the just scene 3 of Act 1. But here we find that John Barthwick and his wife are talking about politics on their breakfast, because John Barthwick is a parliamentarian. So naturally they are talking about political development in England. And we know even the life of the parliament is not sure and certain. And winning the election is really a challenging thing. We cannot hope that we are going to win the election every time. So she is alarmed to find the news that a Labour candidate has won a by-election. So the situation is just going to create a shock to the mind of Mrs. Barthwick. But Barthwick takes it easily. He says that all parties should be represented. That when we are just just a democracy or parliamentarian democracy, we should just hope that the representatives should be of all political parties in the House. So it is what the ideal state that he is explaining, but just naturally Mrs. Barthwick is not happy with this development. So, and next we find that an unknown young lady calls to have her purse back to pay the rent, And here, when it is asked to what he can call uh, Jack denies everything that he has not stolen. So he has not courage enough to accept the charge that is very much there. And we find that in Act 2, Scene 1, which is actually set in John's lodging, John says to his wife that he is badly treated when he tries to find work. Once again, we find that it is natural description of the poor person, that when he is going for searching the job, people or employer are not treating him well. We know that this kind of thing is happening, and the life of the poor people itself is a curse. We can see that ill treatment, ill behavior are natural gifts of just poverty or joblessness. So the same thing as has been observed by John Galsworthy in society taking place has been kept into the scene. So she says that they have to pay the rent today, despite the fact that we are jobless, but we need money. We need money to run the family. We need money to pay the rent. No matter we are in job or we are out of job. So she is just going to talk about the essential expenditure that is to manage somehow. So it is what the present condition is. But Jones unexpectedly throws his wife is sovereign to pay it. We can say that money, after all, is just thrown because he has taken purse, and he does not realize that this kind of just exposure of money will make him suspicious. He is in frustration, and we find that when someone is jobless and is in frustration, sometimes just does a foolish behavior. Foolish in the sense that he exposes himself, throwing money, without realizing the fact that he will be punished when this behavior will be known to policeman and detective and lawyer and so on. But he's throwing, so Mrs. John is appalled or shocked to find he has a purse and the missing cigarette box. So, she simply cannot believe that she is going to hold it. He is going to hold it. She was not thinking that this cigarette box had been stolen by her husband. But this is an open fact. And actually, she is very much shocked to see this kind of thing. She now realizes that he will not be just escaped from punishment. And then what will happen to family? Even the situation of the family is going from bad to worse in the day to come, because it is the matter of stealing the money from a wealthy family, and he is not going to escape the matter so easily. And once it is proved that he has stolen money or purse, definitely he will be punished by the magistrate or by the judge. And she realizes that when he is punished, it will be very difficult for the family to find the job, and the family would be suffering a lot of starvation and of unemployment. So this is the reason that she's shocked to realize, to find that, oh, it is purse and the missing cigarette box, which has been kept by her husband. Now, just we are coming to Act 2, Scene 1. Here we find that there is just the introduction of another character named Snow, who is a detective, who enters and finds the secret box. And when he finds the secret box, he assumes that secret box has been stolen by Mrs. Jones. And naturally, just she is arrested. and whatever was the what we can call shock felt by Mrs. Jones some time back has come into actuality, that she was knowing either she or her husband would be arrested, would be passing through punishment and legal trial. So in between we find that Jones is there, and Jones attacks Snow, saying he took the box himself. So it is his sense of honesty that appears. Now, just he had, Jones has stolen the purse and cigarette box, but Mrs. Jones, his wife, is arrested, so he dares not this kind of thing. And it is why he is attacking in one second frustration. So the life of poor person is always in frustration. We cannot just control our sense and temperament, even just we are in bad situation. So we find that he does not control himself. And here there is an attack by Jones on Snow, and this has added just fire to fuel. And just this is going to create just a massive problem, a severe problem to the life of Jones. And so a policeman comes to overpower Jones. Now, it is not the matter of simply stealing silver box. It is the matter of attacking a detective as well. So he had added his own problem himself by his uncalculated behavior. He was in just actually not good mind, all due to unemployment, poverty, and just the situation that he finds that his wife is arrested and so on. So this is so much troubled that he is just losing his control of mind, and he is just overpowered by policemen. Now further you find that Snow comes in Barthwick's dining room. He reports that Jones took the box when he was let in by a drunken Jack. So both were there. Jack was also there in drunken state. He invited Jones to have wine, and actually during that drunken state of mind, Jones has taken that silver box and just money, and so it causes dismay and embarrassment to Barthwick. Snow says Jones should be prosecuted. And now it is what the legal system starts. Naturally, it is to take place. It will happen when we are just doing certain just unlawful activity. We will be prosecuted. There is no escape from this kind of thing. But the discrimination that is made is to be observed. The major part and major relation that we are going to take from this play is that not the prosecution which is lodged against Jones, it is just another loophole that we have to go through. And so that is just no prosecution against Jack. So further we find that Robert, Barthwick's lord, wants to know how to present the case in the police court. So Mrs. Barthwick believes that Jack's involvement is an invitation of Jones. And then you find that Barthwick reluctantly gives the lady some money just because she has come for the pass, and actually she is also the poor lady. And it is all the matter of harassment, mental harassment to Barthwick to know that his son has been in illicit relationship with the poor lady, and in drunken state, or intentionally, deliberately rather, he has stolen money too. So we can find that he talks severely to Jack after she leaves. It is, after all, the matter of the honor of Barthwick family that Jack could not maintain. And so he is embarrassed to know all these kind of things. But Marlowe informs Barthwick that Mrs. Jones is suspicious of stealing it. Okay, it is just the incident which is reported to Barthwick Mrs. Jones does not know anything about the missing cigarette box. It is all clear that she has not stolen. And Mr. Jones has himself accepted the misdeed that he has done. So we can say that Mrs. Jones is going to be discharged of this kind of allegation. That happens later on in the judicial process, but finally we can say that Jones are to be prosecuted, and he is to be found guilty and liable to be punished. So in the police court, Mrs. Jones says that she was shocked that her husband had the box. Really, we find that still she is honest in her behavior, in her speech. She knows that it will lead to her husband to punishment. However, he admits the truth, despite the fact that there is a problem. There will be lots of problems, rather, when just Jones is prosecuted and Jones is sent to jail. So we cannot say that it will be easy thing for just Mrs. Jones to sustain. So Jones says he helped young Mr. Barthwick to unlock the door. Now, in the court of justice, Jones is explaining the incident as it had taken place. So Jones says he took the box out of spite. Mrs. Jones is discharged because Jones admits the truth, and just charge is already to be framed against him. So now he is just keeping the point that he has taken the box out of spite, but Jones pleaded guilty to stealing the box and assaulting the police, is given 1 month in prison. So there is double charge. One charge is of stealing the box that he has stolen, that he himself admits, and secondly, he has attacked and assaulted the police. So for these two misdeeds, he is given 1 month in imprisonment, and he just as he lives, he shouts resentfully at Jack, who took the purse while drunken, but got scot-free of the law. It is what the cry is there of the poor people. Poor people simply can cry over there just this kind of loopholes which is present in the system. Or we cannot say it is the loopholes. Rather, it is the play and game of a powerful person that is just playing in the court of justice. So we are powerless. Poor people are powerless enough. They cannot make an influence just before the court to make the wealthy person punishable, and so he is left with only one option, that is to cry over his inability. He is crying not only on Jack but on his inability. Poverty makes one unable to just say anything or to make other person just punish always. So it is what the scene-wise analysis is that we have done today, and I think that it is just for our better understanding. Thank you very much.